seconds.
It is. Well, for us anyway. For you, it's been at least 24 hours.
It's depending on. I remember playing the game again in. This is actually kind of difficult. And I say this is difficult the first time through because these Medusa heads. These are Medusa heads if you can't tell. Yeah, they do that, and it's very potent. It's very good at what it does. But I do remember the first time I played through this, and I came back and played it again. I remember how good it felt to be able to have the Zeus gauntlet or the gauntlet of Zeus out the gate coming into this room and being able to fucking break those off top. It felt really nice. This was the first God of War game I played because it belonged to Fifth actually, and he let me borrow it for the PS3. Like well before I had a PS3. Well before I had a PS3. And I remember asking him like, do they all play like this? And he was like, yeah, pretty much. And that was like, from that point forward, I was like, yeah, I gotta get God of War. So when I got a actually no, I got a copy of God of War on PS2, and I played through that and loved the hell out of it. And then when I finally got a PS3, I bought a copy of God of War 3 it was the God of War collection. But I did have God of War 3, but I bought the God of War collection, like the special edition that came with a red controller, which I eventually spilled water on and destroyed. Those PlayStation things just aren't as well built. They're not as child-proof as Nintendo products. That's just like put it. So I'm fairly familiar with this one. This is the first one I ever played, and it's why I like God of War. And it wasn't this one, but Ghost of Sparta I bought like digitally. It was the first digital game I played for. Was it? Yeah, I think so. It was the first digital game I had. I remember it taking forever to download the SD card on the PSP. It was fucking glorious. It was. When I finished Ghost of Sparta, the day I finished it, I started it over. Like as soon as it was over, I just started it over because I loved it that much. Like I really did. I'm not joking. Like as soon as it was over and the credits rolled, I just started the game again. Like I remember having that game, the PSP with me, like going like on family outings and just playing the hell out of that because it just felt. Well, one, it was so cool to be able to take a full 3D game anywhere. The PSP was fucking revolutionary. Revolutionary, baby. Ooh, yeah. Oh, wow, I've actually taken damage. Look at me. Okay. So, yeah, Sonic.
After talking about all the positive things. Before we go back on Sonic, what would you say is your favorite God of War game?
3.
Yeah? Like, just
Ghost of Sparta has a very special place in my heart. Like, it has a loving place in my heart. Like, I fucking love and adore that game. It was really fun. This one is too. But that one will always be like the one that popped my cherry for God of War. Yes, I'm afraid that it is because I am a man and I'm not my fucking man.
Because I'd say it's probably God of War 2 for me, but it could be for the same reason because that was the first God of War that I played.
Like God of War 2 is my least favorite for a number of reasons. I like the way God of War 2 started. But there's stuff about God of War 2 I didn't like. I don't know if it was the pacing. I remember the 15-minute fight scene. That might have been what like drove me up a wall about that fucking game. Because there's a scene in God of War. In God of War 3. There's a trophy called 15-minute fight scene. And basically, it's when you're going to the one sister who basically is in the room, the really big one. I would call her fat, but she takes up an entire room and has like 8 arms. So she's an abomination. She's not just fat. She's got an abomination. Yeah, but apparently it takes 15 minutes to beat that scene. because it's a trophy for getting through it, and it's about 15 minutes. And that might be, I think that's a reference to They Live.
Maybe. I don't know.
But either way, like that, I remember that to me. That's my favorite part of it. The Colossus of Rhodes. For whatever reason, like no matter like how many times I played through God of War, I played through God of War 1 at least twice. No, 3 times. I played through it on PS2. I played through it at least I think twice on PS3, and I played through it on PS3. I have not gotten to God of War 2 on the Vita again, and I don't think I've gone back to 2 and 3 yet. Just because I haven't. Like I will for the channel.
Lord willing and the creek don't rise.
Like I will. So, I'm sorry.
You know, something kind of funny, at least to me anyway, given I know how you feel about Legacy of Kain in general. Legacy of Kain is the reason that I even like wanted to try God of War in the first place, because it reminded me of Legacy of Kain at the time. Like less mechanically, like, but like the whole like it's about mythology. And it's based around combat between the mythology and talking and, you know, because I know that you don't like Legacy of Kain.
I don't dislike Legacy of Kain. I just didn't like the gameplay. The gameplay wasn't for me. I have Soul Reaver, but it doesn't work. Like I have the PS1 disc of Soul Reaver. Like if I'm not mistaken, it has a fucking, which will, I don't know if y'all know this, but that will stop the game. If you find a way to put a dent in a piece of plastic that has information on it, it will indeed be enough to break it. But I'd say God of War 3 is my favorite for too many reasons. It was the first, wasn't the first game I played on my PS3. The first game I played on my PS3 I think was either Black Ops or what's the name of that game? Deadliest Warrior. Deadliest Warrior was the first like digital purchase. That was my first digital game. Like I don't know if y'all remember the show Deadliest Warrior, but there was a digital game. Like I don't think it released
based around the idea.
Yeah. And it was an interesting game. It's a trophy list and go fuck itself. It's a 3D combat game. 3D, like 3D models, but also in a 3D environment. But God of War 3 was like the first God of War game, or the first game I feel like I played on PS3 that truly showed what the PS3 was capable of. And I can't recall if there was ever, I don't know how long how long God of War 3 had been out before I got it. I was like, I think the answer is not super long. If you can take a second and look up when God of War 3 came out. Because I know God of War Ascension came out in like 2013. Because I remember I asked my dad to buy me a copy of it while I was in the hospital. And when I came home, that was like...
It was March 16th, 2010.
Okay, so definitely, like, I got it... Yeah, I got it around the time it came out. Which is not something I could, like, yeah. Because we went to Georgia in 2009. Me and my mom moved over here in 2008. I graduated in 07, moved over here in 08. I think we went to Georgia in 2009. And yeah, I think I got God of War 3. Yeah, around that time. So I got it not long after it came out. Which is interesting. Because at that time, when it came to video games, the only game I had ever paid attention to a release date for was
Smash.
yep. And that was only because they delayed it 50 million times. So, is this the third episode?
Yeah.
This is just called favorite God of War or favorite GOW. What's yours? In the comments. I feel like most people's gonna say their favorite is God of War 3. The reason God of War 3 is my favorite is because visually it's the most impressive. It is the most impressive visually. It's the most fun to play. I would say one of the PSP ones definitely was where the combat arena like showed up. And that was something I feel like God of War 4 is really missing. Because that's what we're calling it. Because it's on the PS4. And it's the fourth in the mainline series. It's God of War 4. God of War 4 really needed a combat arena option. Where you could just choose which enemy spawned in. And you could just pick a background. Whatever. Just it needs it. It super duper needs it. Just to increase replayability. Because that's why I keep God of War 3 installed on the PlayStation, even though I never play it for that reason. But yeah, 3 is like the most visually impressive, and it did stuff like how it didn't have cutscenes that broke the gameplay. Like they just went from gameplay to cutscene and back to gameplay. Like so, no like click cutscene, click gameplay. Yeah. No, it was just seamless, and it was fucking gorgeous. Which is how I felt about American Wasteland. Like Tony Hawk's American Wasteland was kind of like that because it didn't have load screens. You just kind of rode from place to place while it built the stage. Every time when you get there. So yeah, in the comment section, hey Jamal, what's your favorite God of War 3? What's your favorite God of War game? It's late. It's 1:41 in the morning. I'm already sleepy. I've been up since like 10. So yeah, I'm sleepy. But until next time, Sonic looks weird. Good night.